There. My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is Add It Up. I was just at the cafe across the street from my house writing class, and there were employees working in the cafe that were having a conversation around the modern day aspect of dating is often people dating multiple people and not always being transparent about it. And so I was having a wonderful conversation with a woman that cares for the plants in this space, and we were just talking about this dynamic, and I was telling her I come from Austin, is where I last lived, and in Austin there's a huge number of people that identify as polyamorous, and that may be, as we come into the age of Aquarius, more predominant. Who knows? I don't look at the math on things like that as we are adding things up. However, I am experiencing, even at 49, I was recently this year given the opportunity to date someone, and it was really stimulating and exciting because it's been someone of interest in my life for some time. And I learned that they're in a space to where they're just ready to explore. They're coming out of a relationship, and I'm not. I'm not in a space really at all from 49 until the grave, I can imagine, where I need to explore more than one person at a time. And that's because I want to do the math on it. And the reason Heather wants to do the math on life, the math on my relationship to divinity, the math on my relationship to others, the reason I want to add it up is because I want to ensure that I'm living the life that I want to live. So when it comes to the concept of relationship, and we come to add it up and we do the math, I think being neutral, I think it is neutral to be polyamorous or to be monogamous. I think it is neutral, whatever you choose, whatever your relationship is to your sexuality and to its expression, that is your decision, and I love it for you. And, we don't have to judge that which is not the decision we would make. However, what I like to do is add it up. What is the type of relationship I want to have? So for me, one of the ways I've added it up is I came into this awareness in my 40s that many times in relationship, if you consider the quadrants of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, I've been offered in relationship only a small percentage of what we could consider the whole self. People being willing to offer their physical selves, or maybe offer their mental and physical selves. I'm willing to discuss ideas. I'm willing to talk about stuff. I'm willing to have sex with you, but I don't really want to get into your emotions or my emotions. And I don't believe in spirit, and I don't want to connect spiritually with you. And for me, when I add it up, I don't want to have a relationship that has 50% connectivity, because Heather's working to physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually develop herself throughout her life. And I'm interested not only in those quadrants in self, but the evolution of those topics, which includes having a reflecting pool with someone else of connecting spiritually, connecting emotionally, connecting intellectually, connecting physically, and having all four quadrants come into connectivity. Not that each quadrant would connect 100%, but just having connectivity in all sectors. So for me, it feels like breadcrumbing to have a relationship with somebody that's only offering physicality. It's like this is not offering me intellectual stimulation. I'm not getting to know your mind. Getting to know someone's mind is part of what offers me sexual stimulation as a pansexual person. I call it genitalia blind, but it's like, I don't really care what your body is doing. My attraction comes by knowing your spirit, your mind, and your heart. It comes by getting to know you. So if all you want to offer me is your body, it's not very attractive, because I got to get to know what's inside the vessel. And it's a different type of intimacy or getting to know someone if you come into sexual connectivity and you start to dig deeper into the mind, into the heart, into the spirit of a being, because you're coming into closer connectivity. You're sharing even energetic centers. In my perspective, in my beliefs, you're adding up the math of your chakras connecting and energetic cords potentially connecting to a lover. And so I tend to be very monogamous, very loyal. The math for me in relationship at this point is one. I want to be with one person. I want to stimulate myself sexually by only thinking of that person. Teach their own. I don't expect that of a lover. But I want the math to add up to where when I am sexually engaging with someone, they become the impetus of my sexual stimulation. And so that means that there's greater intimacy in which we're getting to truly come to know one another physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, creating a basis of communion. Now, if we do the math on being polyamorous, I used to talk to my friend Todd about this. If you have, let's say, 7 lovers, a different lover for each day of the week, and you go, I see Bill on Monday for an hour, I see Ted on Tuesday for 2 hours, I see Enrique on, Wednesdays for 3 hours or whatever it is. And let's say that different lover every single night adds up to 15 hours, right? In that, in intimacy and connectivity of getting to know someone's mind, heart, and spirit, you've only got 1 hour with this person, 2 hours with that, 3 hours with that. If we take those same 15 hours and apply 15 hours of time and attention in the time-space delusion, which those windows are collapsing at 49 for me. I have a lot less time and attention today than I had as a 2-week-old, or 2-day-old. And so with the time, if I take all of those 15 hours and have one lover, then I've given 15 hours of time and attention, communication, interaction, emotional awareness, development, witnessing, spiritual conversation potentially to intimacy. And so for me, the way that math adds up for me when it comes to romantic relationship is, number one, all of the time and attention is increased by having one lover and building the volumes of understanding, because I do deeply want to know the mind and heart and spirit as well as body of a beloved or of a lover. And so that's how math adds up for me. Some people don't want that math. Some people don't want intimacy. Love that for you. You know what I mean? Love it. But don't necessarily love it for me, because I tend to think more into the future, and what I want is depth and profundity. And depth and profundity comes from time and attention being given to something. I get depth and profundity as a painter if I give time and attention to painting paintings. And as I paint them, I develop the life skill of becoming a painter. As I give time and attention to an individual lover, the capacity and profundity of the depth of that relationship greatly deepens because more time and attention has been given to its development. I also, when the math adds up, I love to be STD free. I'm STD free, and there's no reason for you to have shame in your game if you have an STD. Herpes is a very common STD, and so I'm not here to speak ill of anyone that has one. I am just graced with the blessing, for some reason, right now in my life, of not having that. And if I have the math of a lover that is dipping their stick in all the oceans, or, jamming out with their clam out at all the ocean parties, then I'm opening myself to the mathematics of greater probability of STDs, right? And so, even if I had an STD, I don't necessarily want more. Often we don't want more if we have one, right? So I'm minimizing the mathematical probability of that. So I'm doing the math on relationships, romantic relationships, and what they mean to me. Where I'm currently at is I'm considering, maybe I don't want a lover. Maybe I don't know. I really do enjoy my life, and I'm giving a lot of attention and energy lately to just enjoyment and fun and making sure I'm folding in play and fun into my life, and, going to the hot springs and going to the mountain and giving myself experiences that really light me up. One of the other things I like to do the math on and add it up on is relationship to divinity. So anytime Heather Feathers handed a philosophy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the math on your philosophy. And the reason I'm going to do the math on your philosophy is when we talk about a creator, when we're talking about the idea of something that created this world, that creator if you believe in that, put math in the design. We can see the Fibonacci sequence, sacred geometry, the mathematics of physics. These are all things that human two-leggeds with their egos have discovered, is that there's this beautiful mathematics back of the design. That mathematics implies, if there was a creator, that creator had creative intelligence. Therefore, if you hand me a philosophy, I know that the creator of creative intelligence had math far superior to Heather's mathematics capacities, and I'm going to look to ensure that your creator, the math adds up. So if we consider a creator God that had an angel that fell, and as that angel fell, it created a place called hell. And you come down and you get one lifetime. You're given one life, not many lives. You get one lifetime. And in that one lifetime, if you do not choose a specific philosophy in a very diverse garden full of lots of philosophies, you could potentially spend all of eternality being tormented and tortured. For me, that philosophy may work for you. And if it does, if you are like, get behind me, Satan, I fight the devil. Love it for you. I'm not here to change your philosophy. The character of Heather Feather is written. I'm just saying for this character, the math doesn't add up on that philosophy. The math of that creative intelligence is that it's so intelligent, this God, so omniscient, omnipotent, all loving often is also how it's described, that it put math back of the entire design, and then it created something that has the power to fix and rectify, like a devil that oversees a hell. If it's omnipotent, it could fix it, but it doesn't. It gives you one life. Some entities live for 1 week. Some entities live for 4 years. Some beings live for a very nominal amount of time. Some of them come in blind. Some of them are deaf. We have a wide variety of beings that incarn, and the amount of time they're given in the one lifetime is nominal compared to eternality. And if that divine entity allows you to be tormented for all time, then your creative intelligence, to me, would be very ignorant, because it would be sociopathic and psychopathic to give something a blip of 100 years, 120 years, 4 years. You know, what were you, a 12-year-old when you died? How old were you when you died? And then give you all of our eternality to be tormented and to do nothing about it is not a compassionate God. It's not a loving God. And it's not a God that abides by the math it put back of the design. So for me, that philosophy doesn't work because the math doesn't add up. If we don't follow the philosophy of a God that had a fallen angel that torments souls for all of eternality for one lifetime, and we go, I don't really believe in that design. I don't believe that the creator would do that because of its intelligence. But I do believe we get one life, then let's do the math on that. Okay, we get one life. So if we think about 8.2 billion people and the quality of lifetimes, some children are stillborn. So do they get another shot, or is that it? Some babies and infants die, some children die. Some people are born and they never see a sunset because they were born blind. Some people never hear the melody of a song because they were born not only without sight or without hearing. And so you're telling me that we get one life from, 0 weeks old to 120, 130 years, whatever it is. And then we come down here and then we go to the other side for all of eternality. And we all have only that one life to talk about. So we're all in a circle talking about sunsets. And our friend Sally, who was blind in the lifetime, gets to, for all of eternality, go, I never saw the sunsets. I never got to see them. I didn't get to have that experience with y'all. Or I never grew up into an adult. I never got to have sex. Everyone up here in heaven talking about sex, I never had it. I died as a child, And so to me, again, the math doesn't add up. The mathematics, the physics back of the universe adds up. It consistently adds up. Again and again and again, math adds up. 1 + 1 is 2 every time. It never becomes 7, right? And so the math that I can see from creative intelligence or from a creator adds up. How does it add up that I have 0 days to 120, 130 years, and for all of eternality, those are the only stories we have to tell about having incarnated in a flesh sack? The math doesn't add up. The only math that for me has ever added up, and that can also hold a concept called justice being present, true justice, would be the idea that we get to live an infinite number of lifetimes. We have unlimited time down here. And the only way that could be a safe construct, a truly safe construct, is if we were eternal. So from a spiritual construct and concept, usually there always is the concept of eternality. We have it in science with our atoms. Atoms cannot be created nor destroyed. Everything's made of atoms. That's eternality. But when you're considering a spiritual counterpart, like an infinity symbol, that the physical world or the atoms, which are made of emptiness that are collapsing into particles based on our consciousness, have a spiritual equivalent of eternality. Spiritual equivalent has always had eternality, eternal soul. God always has been, always will be. It's like it has that same construct that we represent in our atomic energy physically. And so you have this concept of something being eternal. So in order for the math to add up eternally, then I would have unlimited opportunity to experience lifetimes. But because my spirit, my animus, my atoms are eternal and nothing can take them out of the design, I have unlimited opportunity to take up flesh costumes in the paradigm. And in taking up these flesh costumes, I've had unlimited opportunity to face the karma and the awakening and the evolution on who I've chosen to be and how I've chosen to shake the web in a Maya illusion dreamtime holography. And that, to me, would be a just system, because if this is a hologram, if this is Maya, if this is illusion, then there's no threat in us flirting with eternality forever. It will add up to us eventually learning what we came to learn. And that could be a very just system. Do your relationships add up to your actual aim? Does your spirituality add up? Have you done the math? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. I always love your comments. I'm Wendy.